UFC Mexico City just recently wrapped up, and I am going to recap the entire card. I'm going to start with the first fight of the night and then work my way up to the main event. So make sure you guys smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. Let's start it off. First fight, Markel Mederos, Austin Hubbard. Mederos gets the decision. I picked him to win this one, and I thought it would be a competitive-ish fight, and he'd get the decision on the cards. Now, Hubbard was definitely in his face and made this a bit of a scrap. First round, Markel Mederos was tactical, and he technically outstruck Austin Hubbard. There were some good combinations, good leg kicks, mostly lateral movement. Hubbard was the one, more so moving forward and bringing the pressure, but Mederos was landing counters and was not really getting hit with anything too effective on the feet. Round number two, Austin Hubbard ends up taking the back standing of Mederos and essentially controls him for the vast majority of the round. And it was an all Austin Hubbard round. I mean, Mederos defended the hands well and stopped any rear naked choke from getting under the neck, but he was controlled for pretty much the entire second round, clearly lost the second. Round number three starts off bad. Hubbard lands a takedown, gets on top, and for a good portion of round number three, controlled Mederos. Mederos is able to scramble out, reverse the position, get to like the top of the sprawl position, and drop some gnarly elbows on Austin Hubbard, slicing him open. They end up scrambling back to the feet. Hubbard trying some more of the grappling. Weird leg lock sequence attempt, or rather knee bar attempt against the cage from Mederos that kind of just puts him flat, like on his butt, sitting on Austin Hubbard to finish out the round. So he did finish the fight on top. He sliced them up with the elbows and I think did enough damage to steal the round, in a round that had some control by Hubbard, but not really any massively effective moments for him. And, I thought Mederos 29-28 was the right scorecard. He definitely got pushed to the breaking point and tested hard against crafty veteran and a tough journeyman. But I thought Mederos did just enough to win. Now, if he doesn't cut Austin Hubbard with the elbows or they miss, then he probably ends up losing a close fight. But the fact that he did damage, cut him open, and then finished the fight in top position, Mederos took the third round in a relatively uneventful one. So round 1 and 3, Mederos. Round 2, Hubbard. The right man won the fight. Thankful the split decision went the right way. And Mederos by decision was the call, bro. W call, but at the end of the day, close fight, sweaty fight, but overall, a decent performance for a prospect that's still blossoming. He's got a lot of time to grow. We went 3 hard rounds in Mexico City. Mederos' gas tank ended up holding up. But yeah, the wrestling against some of these better wrestlers, what we saw with Hubbard, a guy with some strong grappling, I worried for Mederos a bit, but his striking's good. Let's keep running. Jamall Emmers absolutely ate Gabriel Miranda's heart in this fight. Now, the fight started off scary for Emmers. He was taken down, and then Miranda takes his back, kind of slips off to the side, and has in a legit, side arm triangle. Not the effective technique at its, most elite value, but still enough so where Jamall Emmers is fighting the hands because he felt the squeeze. Miranda doesn't get it. Ends up getting on bottom, and then Emmers fucks him up on the feet, hurts him bad, drops him, beating him up. Miranda's on wobbly legs, still trying to wing shots back, but Emmers was way too clean in the striking, drops Miranda, and gets the knockout win. My official call, though, you guys know I went for the first round sub, bro. I thought the degenerate savagery would come through. I was a little delusional with this fight, picking Miranda, but you saw the opportunity. I had the vision of what could be, and for a moment, he had it. Something happened slightly differently. Miranda wins by sub. I'm the fucking mystic man, but it is what it is, though. Emmers the better fighter, without a doubt. Way better striker, especially. And he fucked Gabriel Miranda up with a violent knockout. Good performance for Emmers. Hopefully we get to see him more often. He's definitely got power, but I'm feeling Emmers taking an L against somebody soon. I feel the next fight's going to be a loss for Emmers. I think the win-loss thing continues for him. And I don't know who the hell they're going to match him up with, but I don't know. I see chinks in Emmers' armor. The defense is a little flawed. He kind of rushes in with his head first, and he throws big shots, but the chin is there to be countered and hit. Miranda just doesn't have the striking tools to do damage. Good win for Emmers. Highlight reel knockout for sure. Good fucking shot. Bang. Drops Miranda down, out, fight over. Call it a wrap, skis, little ground and pound. I'm like, yo, he's out. I'm like, just call the fight, ref. This dude's fucking zombified, man. He's finished with. Good win for Emmers, fucking him up. Next fight, Rafa García and Vinc Pichel. This was a pretty close one for, being a 30-27. I was confused. I thought Pichel lost the first round. I feel like Garcia did a bit more, seemed to get his flow state going and was, pretty good with his timing with shots. Not like super dominant, but enough so to win. Second round, Pichel a little cleaner. I thought he got a hard fought win in round number 2. I didn't think there'd be much doubt about it, but a judge actually scored at 29-28, which I thought that was a fucking surprise, huh? Excuse me, a judge called it 30-27, 2 of them. Yeah, what am I thinking? 29-28 was the right card. Only one judge called it 29-28. I was confused by this. I thought it was a clear 29-28. Third round, Garcia did a bit more in a competitive round number 3. Kind of put the pace on Pichel late. I think he took him down late, and then he like pressured forward and attacked. Not, too much craziness. Towards the end, though, Pichel's like blitzing him with wild shots and trying. But I thought Rafa was like a bit more effective with his hands in that final round and eked by with the decision. Did it by enough. 29-28 is the right card. It's not a 30-27. Pichel definitely got the second round. I don't know what the judges were looking at there. But round 3 and round 1 were Rafa Garcia's rounds. Did pretty well with Pichel. I mean, Pichel's 42, but he don't look it. He can still scrap. Still, teetering on the UFC level. He lost 3 now in a row. Fuck. I mean, his UFC career might be done at 42. I don't know if they'll keep him around. I think like him and Tony Ferguson would have been a great fight, but Tony's now going to GFL and probably going to end up losing over there. For Rafa Garcia, I mean, not a super impressive W that makes you say, oh shit, he's on the rise. He's 30 years old. He's in his prime, but this is about the level with Rafa. Good shape guy, decent volume, not elite caliber, but decent enough. And Vinc Pichel was at 42, able to give him a tough fight and have competitive moments and make it close, but still not enough so. Rafa Garcia was able to handle the business. He looked strong, a couple of big takedowns for him, and enough to get the win. So I thought the decision was fair. I saw Pichel on Twitter saying that he got robbed. He lost the fight. 2 rounds out of the 3 he lost, but he didn't get 30-27. He got 29-28. Rafa Garcia, congrats on the W. The pick was decision. Yeah, there you go, decision. Godinez and Polastri, it was a fucking close fight at the end, but round number 1 and 2, Godinez was effective with a bit of her stand-up style, or boxing game, and then mixing and takedown. She found success controlling Polastri on the ground a little bit. Polastri in round 1 did fucking throw some gnarly elbows from bottom that made Lupi Godinez get back up to her feet. Round number 3, before the round starts, this was fucking hilarious. Lupi tells her corner she's got to take a shit. And to be honest, she kind of had a shit third round. I think she was holding that poop in, man. She was worried she's going to poop her pants or something like that and get disqualified. Polastri was super effective in the third round, just like walking Godinez down with her hands down, taking all of Godinez's best shots and just landing bombs. If it's a 5-round fight, Polastri wins. She was cracking Godinez in that final round. Godinez is trying to swing shots back and she's landing, but Polastri is like just a woman made out of steel. She just keeps on coming forward and throwing heat right back. I think Polastri got good potential. Give her like 15 months to blossom. I see her as actually like a pretty good girl in the women's strawweight division. I think she's pretty skillful, to be honest. Godinez in the first 2 did enough to eke out the decision, regardless of her getting cracked in that third round, and even buckled a little bit in that third round. And holding in a shit, not a terrible performance in round number 3. I thought the fight would have went to Godinez on the cards, but listen, if you tuned into the weigh-in show Friday, I had mentioned Polastri spread, and you would have won with that because 29-28 and all 3 judges' scorecards was the right call. Over 2.5, Godinez decision. Expected outcomes. Hard-fought win for Godinez. She definitely got tested, and I'm not confident that Lupi's going on a title run. I think that her level is more so gatekeeper in that top 10, top 12 region, but Polastri did put up a hell of a fight. And I'm excited to see, honestly, more of Polastri. If she can get that takedown defense more on point with the striking like that, the ability to eat shots like that, she's a scary woman. Holy shit. Let's keep running up. Next fight, Christian Rodriguez, Melquizael Costa. Savage dog lock of the week. Melquizael Costa comes through. Hard-fought win over Christian Rodriguez, and I am grateful. Round number 1. Melky Costa, for a lot of it, was getting backed up against the cage and kind of just controlled there. But towards the end of the round, he had a damaging sequence. I believe he ended up, in top position, scrambled out of the submission. And then even as C-Rod got back up to the feet, Melky hit him with a good shot. So I thought more controlled damage or effective moments, I should say, from Melky in round 1. I was confident he had won the first. Second round was all Melky Costa after, the early 2 minutes or so, because early on, Rodriguez more of this cage control style. Trying to back Melky up against the cage and control him, trying to bully him. Melky Costa able to crack him with some big shots, hurt C-Rod, land some big ground and pound strikes too. had C-Rod seemingly like on his way out. Melky was just after him like a savage, throwing bombs. I honestly think Melky may have punched himself out a little bit. We'll talk about the third round in a second, but absolutely second round was Melky Costa doing legit damage and like seemingly not super far off from potentially pulling off a ground and pound TKO on C-Rod. Round 3, though, C-Rod did enough to win. He won key striking exchanges, backed Melky up, landed takedowns, controlled him on the ground to finish the fight. It was definitely a Christian Rodriguez third and final round. But first 2, I was confident Melky Costa did enough to win. So C-Rod finishes the fight strong, but too little too late. 2 rounds to 1, Melky Costa W, savage dog lock hits, and I felt like $1 million fucking dollars, chat. I feel like $1 million right now. I won't lie to you. I feel like $1 million bucks, man. Holy shit. Holy shit. 6 out of the last 7. And to be honest, with rightful decisions, I think I'm 7 out of 7 on the damn savage dog lock. So I'm feeling damn good. I am very impressed with Melquizio Costa early in the fight. Because we were at elevation in Mexico City, he got a little tired late. And I know Rodriguez was there for a bit longer, and I think that did come in handy. Melky Costa in America, not at high elevation. I think he's dominant more so in the third round and does even better. So Melky Costa, definitely a guy to watch as far as the unranked featherweight division goes. Like 28-year-old, pretty good skills. C-Rod, the prospect killer, but he just can't get past anybody but prospects. He can't jump to the veterans. He can't handle them just yet. Loses to Costa, lost to Arosa 2-3 fights ago now. And Melky Costa pulls through as the savage dog lock of the week, and I felt fucking amazing about it. I'm blessed. I feel great right now. Celebration. Holy shit. Melky Costa, absolute gritty gamer, wins, which is weird though, because the commentary was talking so much about Rodriguez's grappling. I felt like Melky had the trickier jiu-jitsu. I was surprised. They were like, Rodriguez is the grappler and Costa's a striker. And then in round 3, Rodriguez won the striking, to be honest with you, and the wrestling. Good first 2 for Melky. That's all you needed. 2 rounds out of 3. W City. Let's go. Ateba Gautier absolutely destroyed Jose Medina. This was a mismatch. I mean, Jose Medina is just tough, nothing else. What can I say for Medina? Not much that he did. He didn't get knocked out in the first punch. Gautier cracked him with some big shots. Medina was like kind of baiting him in, taunting a little bit. Then he's backed up towards the cage of getting cracked with some bombs. And then Gautier hits him with a tie knee right in the clinch. Bang. Down goes Medina. Ref jumps right in. Ateba Gautier is a terrifying knockout artist prospect, and he's got the Cameroonian blood. He's from Cameroon. And that Francis Ngannou thing, too. The motherfucker is 22 years old, built like that. He looks like a fucking superhero, dude. Holy shit, Ateba Gautier is a terrifying force to be reckoned with, man. Holy hell. Ateba Gautier is a force to be reckoned with in this damn UFC middleweight division. Young guy at 22. Eventually, he's going to be a light heavyweight because that build looks like a light heavyweight, but he's 22, so he can make it. I'm excited for more. The worry will be a good grappler, but shit, dude, can crack. The worry people had here is always at elevation. He's going to gas out. Be like, oh, I'm worried about that. And then, nope. Fucking knocks out Medina in the first round. No worries about the gassing. I knew Medina's chin good, and he showed it with the hands, but you take a knee to the fucking dome, I don't give a fuck how tough you are. Gautier knees you in the face, you're falling over, and the fight's getting stopped. So shout out to Ateba Gautier as just a fucking terrifying prospect that I can't wait to watch fight again. I'm a fan. I'm a Gautier fan. I like the style a lot. He's explosive as hell. He's got a natural athleticism. Seems like his striking calmness is honestly a gift. Most guys at 22 are not calm like that, and he looked awesome in this fight. So 22-year-old guy to keep an eye on. Might be having a very long UFC career. Gautier could potentially be something really special in the next few years, and I want to see it all. Let's jump to the main card opener. This was the fraud check of the night. Also, if you guys haven't, hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe. We had Kevin Borjas absolutely handle Ronaldo Rodriguez. Now, I did anticipate distance striking from Borjas would look good here, especially in the first round. But as the fight wore on, I thought Rodriguez would go to the well with wrestling, get on the inside, box up Borjas in close, take him down, control him a bit, and threaten with grappling. Kevin Borjas' takedown defense was sharp. Fucking Rodriguez just swings wild punches. I swear to God, he's too fucking focused on impressive techniques to get people going crazy and kind of going viral essentially, as opposed to, using what's worked. He's trying to throw jump kicks and fucking all these crazy moves, man. And then he's just swinging wild bombs from way out of range, and Borjas is just peppering him with calculated strikes and doing a good job cracking him with right hands from range. And he dropped Ronaldo Rodriguez how many fucking times this fight? Holy shit. They said one knockdown. I think there was two knockdowns. Good straight rights consistently throughout it. Ronaldo Rodriguez drops that fucking left hand all the way. That lead hand comes down. Bang, bang, bang. His chin is crazy, but doesn't matter. Got completely picked apart and outstruck for 3 rounds. I don't agree with even 29-28. I thought Kevin Borjas even won the 3rd round. Rodriguez was just chasing him, but he was getting countered the whole time. 29-28 is an egregious fucking scorecard. It was 30-27 all day long. Kevin Borjas absolutely handled business in this fight, giving Ronaldo Rodriguez a fucking lesson. Hype train, 2-0 in the UFC versus 0-2, but 0-2 don't mean nothing in the cage if you know how to fight. And Kevin Borjas, I mean, you look at it now, Alessandro Costa lost and Joshua Van lost. Not bad losses. Absolutely handles Ronaldo Rodriguez. Borjas deserves to be here. I'm disappointed I didn't pick him because I picked him against Victor Diaz on Contender Series a couple of years back as a big dog there. And he continues to fucking come through and perform in certain needed spots, man. This was nice. Picking apart Rodriguez completely. Rodriguez has nothing from the outside. He's got okay leg kicks. What else, really? Not much. He's got wild hooks that he likes to throw from, more the long range, which is just kind of ineffective. It's going to lead you open to counters. And then he doesn't really have anything else but the hooks. He doesn't really have that good of wrestling. His jiu-jitsu's decent, but he doesn't really get to showcase it because he can't get Borjas down. Borjas absolutely fucking dominated him. And this was a one-sided ass whooping. Mexico's hyped up pride and son, really. I mean, they had Julio Cesar Chavez giving him a hug before the fight. And then for him to go out and get handled like that is crazy. Kevin Borjas is a gamer. Fucking Peruvian savage fighting this Mexican star. 2 million followers on Instagram. I don't even know how many Borjas got. A few thousand, maybe 20,000. I don't know. I'll check it after the damn video. Shout out to Borjas winning and securing his spot in the UFC and putting him in a good position too. Because he just handled a guy that had a lot of hype. Whether it was undeserved hype or not, doesn't matter. It was hype. It's in the top 30 in the damn flyweight division. And now I think, okay, Borjas is in with the higher level. I mean, how sick would it be? This is a far-fetched fight matchup, but how sick would it be if we got Launer Kavanaugh versus Kevin Borjas? I'd be interested in that matchup. That would be a really cool fight. That's a scary fight, too, for both guys, actually. I'm looking at the whole division. For Rodriguez, they might end up giving him fucking Jesus Aguilar, Mexico battle. He might lose. Nah, actually, for Rodriguez, there's another guy in this card you could give him instead. Hey, give him fucking Vergara or something like that. I want to see Kevin Borjas, Launer Kavanaugh. I don't know if they'll do it because Kavanaugh's a good prospect, but Borjas could definitely give him a tough fight. Damn, son. Kavanaugh proving his fucking worth, man. He looks good. Maybe they give him Andre Lima. They try to feed him to Lima or something like that, but he could still be live in that matchup too. Shout out Kevin Borjas for a sensational win. Let's keep running. David Martinez destroys Simón Oliveira as expected. Knockout win. As many people expected, Oliveira, not a consistent fighter, not active, not good, even when he is active. Getting absolutely fucking handled by David Martinez. Martinez striking looked really good in this fight. I mean, he was slick from the outside, picked the shots pretty nice. Simón Oliveira tried to blitz and pressure, couldn't do shit, really. Tried to wrestle, couldn't do shit. My God. David Martinez just looks good. His striking flow is nice. Found big shots, the knee knockout finish. Simón Oliveira got absolutely picked apart on the feet, just throwing shots like a wild man. And Martinez, with that karate background, looked comfortable, looked slick, and throws a backflip out there at the end. That was sick, too. He's a doctor, bro. Doctor by day, fighter by night, bro. Holy shit. He beats you up, and then he fucking heals you afterwards. This guy is a savage, man. David Martinez, Dr. David Martinez. He's a fucking surgeon. Kicking ass out there. Absolutely badass performance. This dude is an awesome striker and has a really fun style. Bantamweight prospect at 26. Definitely the ceiling's pretty high. I don't know what level he's going to get to, but definitely a level of entertainment already at 26 years old in the UFC, getting a knockout like this and destroying Oliveira as expected, but he made it look easy as hell. They're definitely going to give him, lesser opposition. You don't want to rush him up the ranks too quick at 26. Give him a debuting guy. Give him a guy who's maybe 0-1 in the UFC, something along those lines, or maybe a guy who's lost a couple fights in a row. I think that's probably what's next for David Martinez because we need the new generation of the Mexican talent. With Ronaldo Rodriguez getting exposed here, I mean, David Martinez is a guy to keep an eye on to, build in that Mexican market. People have said to me in chat, and I agree, it reminds them of a little bit like a Lyoto Machida style. You can see that traditionalist martial arts influence, and I like it a lot. Good win for Martinez. Big W. Rosas Jr., Vince Morales, as expected, Rosas Jr. to employ the grapple fucking. This is just simply put, his style is grapple fucking. Early takedowns control by Rosas. A little striking in round one, though, actually. He showed a little hands and kind of had Morales backing up. But he was taking Morales down, slamming him, controlling him. He looked strong in the grappling, was able to essentially dominate Morales without, like, putting himself in a spot that was too live for a finish. At the end of the first round, Morales got a reversal, but wasn't able to do much with it. Second round, we're looking at more of the same, the wrestling, the control, the takedowns, the pressure, the backpacking attempts by Rosas Jr., but Morales wouldn't allow him to get the full back control. It was like one hook in and then like one hook towards the leg, and Morales was blocking it pretty well. Nothing doing as far as close submission attempts in round two for Rosas Jr., but great control time. Did his thing in round two. Round number three, though, Vince Morales actually almost got Rosas Jr. in multiple submissions. Almost got him in the first Peruvian necktie, but it like switched to a Darce choke and it was tight, but Rosas gritted his way out of it and then ends up in top position. And then at the end of the fight, Peruvian necktie attempt from Vince Morales was fucking tight, and the bell rings with Rosas Jr. locked in a necktie, man. So good finish for Vince Morales in that third round. And if there's another minute, who knows, man, maybe he locks up the sub. Rosas Jr. able to survive some tight submission attempts from Vince Morales, who does have some nasty front headlock positions, but, not enough so. For Morales, his past two fights, he's close to getting third round subs against prospects, but Rosas Jr., 29-28, he deserved the decision, dominated the first two rounds. Third round, some really good submission attempts from Vince Morales, but nothing on him, man. Submission attempts, nothing there. Isn't able to get the finish. Tight, and at the end, I guess you could say, oh, he almost got it, but fight ends. Too little, too late. Rosas Jr. gets it done, but you still got to slowly build the 20-year-old, man. You can't rush him. He can't jump far past this level. Like the Vince Moraleses, the Ricky Tercioses. Like what? We got to give him Bernardo Sopai? I think he could end up getting hurt in that fight. Fighting another prospect like that? That's risky. I'm looking at the rankings right now of guys that are, outside of that top 30. And I would say for Rosas Jr., I don't know what direction they want to go. I mean, do you give him a John Castaneda? I feel like that's a hard fucking fight. A John Castaneda fight is hard, man. Do you give him a Chris Gutierrez? I'm sure both of those guys want to get in there since their fight got canceled. Do you give him a prospect like Brady Heaston? That could go fucking awry quick. He already beat Elatonge Lee. I have no idea. Do you give him Cameron Simon versus Malcolm Wellmaker winner? I really don't know the direction. Do you give him the Bexot and fucking Brad Katona winner? Is that what you do? Maybe that. I don't know what Rosas Jr., man. Good smothering, grappling, control style, but, not super fan-friendly with the recent performances, and I know people don't like it. People don't like it, man. People don't like it at all. I mean, they could give him Elatonge Lee. That's not a bad matchup. Another guy that's kind of towards a similar level to like a Vince Morales. But at 20, he's just not ready for a serious jump. For Morales, I don't know if the UFC keeps him around. It's 3 losses in a row. Second bad UFC run for him, but he had a good win streak outside the UFC. Maybe just bless Morales with one more chance because he is gritty and he's fighting hard till the end. And, if there's another round, maybe he beats some of these guys, but there's not. Shout out to Rosas Jr. for the win and the perfect pick. Cháirez Vergara, this was a fucking squash match. Listen, Edgar Cháirez is everything that I feel the Mexican fans wanted Ronaldo Rodríguez to be. They should be rallying behind Edgar Cháirez with that same level of fucking enthusiasm because this dude is a real gangster. Absolutely cracked Vergara with a gnarly left hook, drops him, takes his back, chokes him out in the first round. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Fight goes half a round. Edgar Cháirez destroyed CJ Vergara easily. He's dialed into training boxing, and you can see his hands look fucking smooth in this fight, man. Edgar Cháirez is a fucking monster. I felt like he's a great prospect. And then the Vergara fight, I'm like, all right, it should be a squash match. And I picked him by sub to win, and him getting the sub was good too. Vergara's hands are kind of quick, but he has no power. His leg kicks looked okay. He caught Cháirez with some leg kicks and read in the leg up a little bit, hit 5 of them. But Cháirez needed one big punch. The hands of Cháirez is just simply better. And the jiu-jitsu of Cháirez is simply better. The potential is simply way higher. Bad record, you're looking at on paper 12-6, but Cháirez can fight, man. I like Cháirez a lot, dude. Fucking hell. I mean, lost to Joshua Van, but he did damage there. Debut loss to Tyra and even had him in a fucking tight sub. His other loss is Clayton Carpenter on the Contender Series. He lost to Jesus Aguilar as well, who's in the UFC in the 5th round. I was outside of the UFC. Cháirez is a good style, man. Cháirez is fun to watch. I like Cháirez a lot. Him versus Felipe Bunez would be pretty fucking cool. Don't know if they'll book it, but him versus Felipe Bunez would definitely be fun. I'd be intrigued by that matchup. For CJ Vergara, to be honest with you, man, I think that potentially a UFC release, or maybe we do CJ Vergara versus Victor Altamirano in kind of the battle of the ultimate cans. I'm kind of curious to see it. For Cháirez, I mean, they can go all different directions. I'm running through the rankings right now. I mean, you could give him Alessandro Costa after a performance like that, which is a huge fight. You could give him somebody that good. I don't know how Lazy Boy was ranked all the way up there. Like, Tapology had him at 26 in the world. I know those aren't official, but still. Cháirez Costa would go hard as fuck. It's a big step up in competition, but I don't think it's a delusional step upwards, man. The flyweight division is lit. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, bro. I love the flyweight division. Cháirez, absolutely a savage to keep your eye on. Definitely a prospect to watch and really coming into his prime and on his way to contendership. Not saying he's challenging for the belt, but he's definitely going to get some fun wins. So shout out to Cháirez. Co-main event, Manuel Torres makes easy work of Drew Dober, drops him with a big straight shot, and then like Dober catches the leg of Torres and like smacking hammer fist from Torres and like 17 of them, and then the ref stops it. He like doesn't realize that Dober is fucking out, just holding his leg, blah, 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 getting his fucking brain absolutely smashed. My God, Mike Beltran almost got Drew Dober killed out there. He takes so many shots after being out cold. Good on the ref stepping in, and then Dober gets up and he's like this, trying to still fight, but he's like wobbling the other way. Was absolutely gone, dude. And then Torres looks at him and is like, come on, you want to still fight? That was funny as shit. Dober got wrecked, man. Now, to be honest, I had the delusional Drew Dober pick, but not with high confidence. I told you guys, bro, fucking, flip a goddamn coin. It's just I doubted Torres' adaptability. He didn't need it here. He didn't get hit with anything big. He hurt Dober, and the fight was wraps, man. Torres got fucked up by Ignacio Bahamondes, but I guess it just makes Bahamondes look better, seeing how well Dober handled the veteran Drew Dober. Or excuse me, how Torres handled the veteran Drew Dober. Easy knockout. He's a fun guy to watch with crazy power, man. Manuel Torres fights are literally must-watch matchups. I can't wait for the next one with Torres. I actually want to see if I have a direction for him that he could go down. I'll look towards the unranked guys in this lightweight division. Let's see. I mean, beating Drew Dober is a legit win. Is Manuel Torres fighting somebody like Nasrat Haqparast, or is that too much? Like, that could end up being too much. Manuel Torres versus Nasrat would go so hard, though. Him versus Esteban Ribovics wouldn't be bad either. I think that could be a crazy fight. Or potentially Nazim Sadikov, who's coming off that big upset win over Bonfim, one of the Savage Dog Locks this year. I would say like either Sadikov if they want to go lower level, or then the other two options would be, I would say Ribovics, which I do think that would be an absolutely sick fight, or maybe Nasrat. But I don't know if they want to move them in that direction, right? You never know. The UFC, they have their own, game plans with some of these matchups. I mean, you could give them Michael Johnson and just expect chaos. And I feel like he'd probably chin Michael Johnson similar to what he did with Dober. Drew Dober's in a sad spot, bro. Put out, took a bad loss. Taking, 3 in a row? Is it bad to say? But Dober might be done, man. I know he'll still stick around, and there's always going to be fights for him, but I don't know who. 3 bad losses in a row. It's not like these are like close losses, bad losses. Him versus Jared Gordon could be cool. I don't hate that matchup at all. Honestly, Drew Dober versus Chris Duncan just caught my eye. That could be fucking sick. Let's do Drew Dober and Chris Duncan. Fuck where he's ranked, how many UFC fights he got. I want to see that. Drew Dober versus Chris Duncan just came to me. For Torres, there's a handful of options with a prospect like him. Definitely a fucking savage monster. The loss to Bahamondes has aged like a fine wine, seeing Bahamondes get a nice first-round sub of, Jalen Turner. And he looked great here. So the Manuel Torres hype back on him. Disgusting KO. And damn, ref. Drew Dober doesn't deserve to get killed like that. Come on, Mike. Stop that damn fight. Main event. Make sure you guys hit the likes, and if you're new, sub it up. Brandon Moreno, Steve Erceg. This was a good back and forth fight that Brandon Moreno was able to do enough so to pull through and win. So round one, Moreno, crisp with the hands, landed some big right hands that knocked Erceg off balance, was throwing power hooks as well. And I would say definitely clearly outstruck Erceg in round one. Round two, I felt like it was pretty 50-50. In the moment watching, I thought you could have gave that round to Erceg, but a lot of people disagreed in chat. And I feel like it was one of those coin flip rounds. Some big moments from Moreno, some big shots from Erceg, pretty good back and forth. Similar with round number three, I thought it was competitive. There was good back and forth moments. I felt like Erceg definitely took the third, though. So I scored round three more confidently towards Erceg, landed slightly more shots, slightly more accurate, slightly more clean, slightly more volume. But that second round, very much up for debate, and shit, things can go awry if the decision goes sideways and the fight's close in the later stages, but wasn't that case. Round four, Moreno, more success with the stand-up. I think he even got Erceg down too in round four, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. It's been a long day, bro. I've been streaming all day. But Brandon Moreno had good success in round number four with the striking, kind of forcing Erceg backwards a bit. And Erceg, like, technically sound, but not enough moments. Even the commentary said, and I agree, Moreno caught him with bigger shots. Round five, Moreno put the pressure on Erceg, backed him up some more. There were some early combinations from Erceg, but Moreno would just do more. Bigger shot, harder shot, more powerful shot. Finishes the fight with some strong wrestling pressure and pulls through. I gave him the fifth. I gave him the fourth and fifth. So my scorecard, which maybe it was a slight Erceg's witness scorecard, because an OG Erceg fan, even though I didn't pick him here, I always have mad respect for Stevie Boy. I thought it was 48-47. But that second round could have easily went to Moreno. I thought 49-46 was fine. Definitely the right guy won, clearly. Brandon Moreno striking looked good. Boxing looked pretty crisp. Hand speed was definitely there. Had to overcome some adversity from Erceg, who's good from the outside. Erceg's still solid, man. He's technically proficient. He picks his shots well, but I'm telling you, he just doesn't have enough moments. He doesn't land enough power shots. He lands clean strikes, but doesn't really do much oomph with the shot. Doesn't have these crazy big moments in the fights. Does enough to pull through, and is clean and effective and an accurate striker for sure, but just doesn't have like the danger factor. Moreno had more danger factor throughout the fight. Moments where like, oh shit, is Erceg gonna go down? And those big moments are what won Brandon Moreno the fight. I definitely thought he pulled through. After the fight, he said, hey, I don't know what next, but he wants a big, pay-per-view in Mexico. And I think that would be pretty dope. I do think the UFC is doing Noche in Mexico, UFC 320. So they are doing a pay-per-view in Mexico. And then I think to myself, are they going to do Brandon Moreno? Don't they want a Mexican fighter for that main event? Don't they want him fighting for a belt, or at least on the co-main event? UFC 320, Pantoja Moreno. I know it's a little bit away. It's not till September. And I know Pantoja might be having a fight, but I don't know. The Kai Kara-France fight, it doesn't seem like confidently booked. And I don't think it's a bad idea for the UFC to set up Moreno versus, Pantoja and do that fight in Mexico for UFC 320, Noche UFC, as a pay-per-view headliner, or at least co-main event to like a badass fight in the main event. So I think Moreno might have just stole the title shot, is what I'm saying. I know, but Brandon Royval is right there. It's a tricky spot to be in. Royval has lost multiple times to Pantoja, as has Moreno. It's just fucked, man. It's fucked. Moreno's right at the top. It's just because they're going to Mexico, they could warrant that shot more of like, hey, I want to have a Mexican fighter go for it. Or we could do Moreno versus Brandon Royval 3. I'm very open to that fight. I thought of that matchup actually right after the stream. I was like, that would be a dope trilogy, because I mean, first fight Moreno wins, Brandon Royval hurts himself, injured shoulder. Second fight, close split decision, Moreno loses. Now they do it a third time. That'd be pretty badass. I definitely see that as a possibility. Looking at the division, I mean, Kai Kara-France, a lot of people feel like he's a top contender, but is he really though? Is he really though? 1-2 in his last three. I know he fucked up Erceg in fantastic fashion, way more impressive than the current champ or our main event winner here did. But does Kai get that title fight? I mean, if you look, Kai lost to Amir Albazi by a controversial decision. Say what you want. I know it's controversial, still a loss. Brandon Moreno then beat him. And then, fight before that, Moreno is all the way in 2022, but still, Brandon Moreno won. So 3 fights ago, he's losing to Moreno by finish. Brandon Moreno now on a 2-fight win streak, beating Albazi and Erceg, and having the win over Kai Kara-France already, kind of puts him more ahead of the heap. Brandon Royval, interesting spot to be in for him. He beat Tyra on a split and Moreno by a split, past 2. And then it's like if he gets overlooked for a title shot for Moreno after having the win over him and not having lost yet, it's a fuck spot to be in. And then there's Manel Kopp in the mix. Where the fuck does he fit in? Manel Kopp, Kai Kara-France is a must-see fight. Brandon Royval versus Brandon Moreno 3 is awesome, but Pantoja needs a title challenger. It's really a lot of who's available at what time and when does the champ want to fight, because I don't know for sure. I mean, Kopp is definitely in the mix for the title fight, but beating Almabayev and Bruno Silva, I don't think trumped the resume of Royval beating Tyra and Moreno. And then on the opposite side, Assassin Baby beat Erceg and Albazi, which trumps the, Kai Kara-France, just Erceg with a loss a few fights before to Moreno. A rematch between Kai Kara-France and Brandon Royval, which, that fight happened all the way back in 2020, I definitely think has more intrigue as opposed to, doing, Brandon Moreno and Kai Kara-France next. I don't know about that one. Man, it's hard to matchmake for this division because we have no fucking idea what's going on with the champ. There was rumors that it was going to be Kai Kara-France versus Alexandre Pantoja, and I thought that was absolutely sick. I thought that'd be a cool fight. But now it's like, okay, win for Moreno since then. Brandon Royval, I mean, he's always in the mix. It's just, you can't really warrant him a fucking trilogy against Pantoja, I feel like, just yet. Maybe he needs one more. So the battle of Brandons for a #1 contender fight makes a lot of sense. I just don't know if the UFC's doing it. Then there's Manel Kopp, who was supposed to fight Royval, with Royval being injured. Then, you go down Kai Kara-France versus Kopp. You book Brandon Moreno versus Pantoja sooner. But UFC 320 needs something. The UFC matchmaking job, hardest fucking job in the world. Now, for Stevie Boy, Steve Erceg, he's lost 3 in a row, dude. I mean, can we give him a step down? Can we give him like an Alex Perez? Can we do that? Can we give him like the loser of Josh Fan and Bruno Silva? Can we do that? But they probably won't. He's lost 3 straight, but he's going to be forced to fight the best. Could potentially see Steve Erceg fighting in Asia against Kai Asakura or Tatsuro Taira. I think those are 2 options as well. Erceg definitely belongs amongst the elite. Also, Albazi versus Erceg. I don't know what Albazi's timeline of return will be, but Albazi Erceg doesn't seem like a horrible matchup either to make sometime this year. But I do think it's more of a needle mover to do like Taira versus Erceg or Asakura versus Erceg. There just seems to be something bigger about those fights than an Amir Albazi fight. But if they're looking for a step down in comp, him versus Alex Perez, just more so looking for like a slightest sense of a tune-up for Erceg so he doesn't lose 4 in a fucking row potentially when he's a legit contender. Not a horrible idea. What a wild-ass UFC run. Erceg starts off 3-0. He's now 3-3 in the UFC, but his losses are to the champ, a top contender in Kai Kara-France, and a former champ in Brandon Moreno, 2-time former champ. So Erceg's not really in an awful spot. Still a good fighter. Still getting better. I mean, he's 29 years old. He's got staying power here. And I feel like even though he lost, this was a much better loss than what happened against Kai Kara-France, which was a violent first-round knockout KO. Kara-France got some crazy power, man. Because of that knockout, it like bumps Kara-France up to that Pantoja level. Because like, hey, let's see what happens, something new with this one. Pantoja is... how many fights removed from this? Beating Kai Kara-France in 2016 on The Ultimate Fighter. So he's fucking nearly a decade removed from their first fight. It wasn't an official pro fight, but they have been in the octagon together. I remember watching that season live, and it is crazy to look at how many of those guys are still amongst the elite in the fucking top 15 of the UFC division, and how crazy it is that the winner of that show was fucking Tim Elliott, who's not even sniffed the title shot. But Alexandre Pantoja, who lost to Hiromasa Ogakubo on the show, actually never fought in the UFC, is the champ. Moreno's been the champ. He lost to Pantoja there. Kara-France at the top. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. What a great season of The Ultimate Fighter, man. The Ultimate Fighter can be good. They just got to hand select the talent more properly. And now, Kyoji Horiguchi might be coming to the UFC. Is he coming at bantamweight or flyweight? I think he might be coming at flyweight, but yeah, that's interesting too. Holy shit. Flyweight division stacked. If you're not a fan of the flyweight division, I don't get you. I never understood the flyweight haters, but if you want to hate on it 10 years ago, okay. This era now is literally savages amongst savages amongst savages at flyweight, and I absolutely love it. Brandon Moreno caps off the weekend with the win, and a perfect prediction for me. Gets the decision over Steve Erceg in like a gritty back and forth type of fight. Competitive, but Moreno's fight. I do want to close out the show by checking the picks and the parlays. Main event pick. Perfect call on the money. L in the co-main. Dumb call on Dober. I'll take my loss in the chin. It's perfect call with Cháirez by Vergara. Confident pick, as was Moreno. Perfect call with Rosas over Morales. Perfect call in the confidence level too. Perfect call with Martinez. KO over Oliveira. Things look great. Did take the L with Rodríguez and Borjas there. I'll take the loss on the chin. Hey, the Borjas spread wasn't bad, though. I mentioned it. Gautier over Medina. Money call there. Savage dog lock, Melquizio Costa over C-Rod, bang, bang, bang. Lupita by decision over Polastri, bang, bang, bang. And I mentioned the spreads in a lot of them that end up hitting. García over Pichel, money call, and the spread should have hit there. If you played the spread, I'm sorry, because fucking Pichel gave him a run for his money. L call, trying to chase Miranda and delusion there. I had two delusional picks, Dober and Miranda. But the submission was close early, but, close ain't shit if you ain't hit. And then money call, perfect pick, Markel Mederos over Austin Hubbard. So of the 12 fights on the card, 9 wins and 3 losses on the card. So I would say altogether, pretty fucking fire picks. A clean sweep of my most confident picks, and the Savage Dog Lock of the week comes through and hits. I just wanted to recap a couple. So the ones you see right beneath me were from the weigh-in show. So if you guys tailed the prop parlay, Martinez KO, Mederos by decision, plus 422. I know it was mismarked at plus 700 because we accidentally had Hubbard in there, but I corrected it after. This was the play right there. Mederos, Rosas Jr., plus 101 is a safety call. Mederos, Rosas Jr., and Garcia, plus 149. And if you played Mederos, Rosas Jr., Garcia, and Costa, plus 497 for a little savage play with the plus money side of things coming through. As far as the other ones, of course, some lines shifted. Some fights, didn't happen. Piper didn't happen. It didn't fucking fight. Maybe it was destiny. But that one at the bottom where you see fire, that right there was an absolute savage call, plus 959 if you had Piper. Without Piper, still really good plus money, was sitting at plus 807, and I was very grateful that the Savage play came through, even though there was, the push of the bet because Piper was out of the fight, man. Piper didn't end up making it to the matchup, but it is what it is, And if you played the one before, it was plus 677, ended up being plus 565, which is still a pretty fucking great call if you ask me. Still great plus money. You're still hitting some savage parlays. And then the one prior to that, let's check what the line was there. Without Cháirez on the line, it's plus 385 for the one above because, Piper was out. But still, quality play with the confidence calls, man. Still all quality. Then Rosas Jr., Cháirez, and Moreno at plus 231. Actually, no, is it plus 231? It closed a little lower because Piper was out of it. Let me take Costa out. I should have corrected these before, but I said, you know what? I'm fucking doing it on live. Gives it the more authentic feel. You understand what I'm saying? Plus 138 instead of plus 231 for the clean. But the dog play, Costa and Cháirez at plus 220 still comes to fruition. If you had Rosas Jr. and the over 2.5, you're still getting, I would say a pretty decent little tag if I can make it happen real quick. Rosas Jr. and the over in... No, Rosas Jr. and Cháirez, yeah. It was minus 152 if you just play those two, which kind of sucks. Mederos Piper, it's just a Mederos money line. Moreno Cháirez, minus 102 money. Rosas Jr. with Piper doesn't come through. It's just a Rosas money line if you had that played. Rosas Jr. and Mederos Hubbard, which turned into essentially alternate play, I guess you could call it. Fucking things, unfortunately, go awry with some of these fights getting canned, or one of them getting canned, which sucks. The line was at minus 154. So... yeah, that's what the odds look like with the shift. But still, several savage parlays came through for me. I was absolutely locked in. And, you know, I always feel fucking amazing when the savage dog lock comes through. So shout out Melquizio Costa. I hope you guys enjoyed the full card recap. Big W to the chat. Thank you guys for 46,000 subscribers. I love each and every one of you. We'll celebrate it on Monday during lunchtime live. So make sure you tune in. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the post notifications on, and W in the chat if you got nothing to say. We just enjoyed the content, but definitely let me know what you think of the video, what you think of the fights, what you think of the picks. Thank you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.